Hey and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be taking a look at Firesworn following the patch of 10.3, and this archetype got a huge buff, basically received an entire rework that makes it a lot more playable. However, I don't think it is going to be meta, but I do think it's going to be extremely competitive. The reason why I say it's not going to be meta is because it doesn't have the same sort of control as non-devotion decks have, and I find that the deck really favors devotion with added clauses from things like the Jacques and with the Ulrich and all types of stuff like that. Like, you get really good payoffs there, and I just felt like it wasn't maybe necessary because Ulrich is just a really good card. We have a lot of crime cards in the deck to get the intimidate value. We get an extra Fallen Knight, for example, makes a third. It plays for a lot of points, and then Jacques' final form, Grandmaster, right? We're getting a coin every time we play a Firesworn unit, so it really adds up. So I don't know if it's worth taking out those cards to put like a heat wave or something like that in the deck. However, this is what I felt like would be the strongest version in my opinion. So to go through the list here, because a lot changed, we have Jacques Miraculous Child, which is going to be evolving into Jacques Grandmaster by round 3. It has Veil, so they can't lock it or poison it, so it can get pretty tall, and it has Profit 4. So we contribute those 4 to spawn 2 Flaming Rose Footmen in the row beside it, which will then proc obviously cards that have spawn payoffs like the Fallen Knights and the Firesworn Scribe. So really good options for the spawning with the Jacques. And then of course fee 1 boost self by 1, so we have the spender so we don't spill over on coins, and then whenever you play a Firesworn card, gain 1 coin. So if we can get that down somewhat early into the round, then it's going to make sure that we get a lot of profit and we don't have to run additional profit cards in the deck, which is why I don't have things like Smuggle, just because I felt like profit coming off of this, profit coming off the Scribes, Cleric increased profit with the patch. Like, there's just less reasons to run those and more just to engine with the units that create profit. So I like the direction they went with that. Going into Cirrus Hemmelfart, so this card felt really good when they came out with this in 9.6. I was really excited about it. And what's better than 1? Well, clearly 2, because what we can do is we can use Ulrich in round 1, maybe get extra Fallen Knights or extra Clerics, whatever we need to get, right? Extra Scribe, and then we can go and we can essentially play another one later, because if we take the Eternal Fire Inquisitor, we can, you know, destroy a token, boost self by 4, brings it to 8 power. We can use Damnation to basically destroy this card at 8 power and then create something that's for 8 provision higher, granted that we're destroying an 8 power card, which ultimately brings out a Hemmelfart. And what's nice is that if we get these out in round 1, they have Veil, so we can bleed in round 2 with that play and bring them out again, and they won't have Doomed or anything like that, and then we can bring them out a 3rd time in round 3. I think if you're using 2 Cyrus in 1 round, it's not ideal. You'll see one game today where I had to do that. However, you kind of want to split it up by rounds because it makes this play that much better, right? And I don't think the play is ever to go and cut this all together and put in, you know, just the Damnation combo. I think having the 2 is really cool, and it plays for a ton of points. So I've been finding the tempo is very hard to keep up with. Obviously, there are some decks that can, if they're just like big boosty decks, especially if they're non-devotion, but a lot of the devotion decks find it very difficult to keep up with it, or even things like Nilfgaard Assimilate, where it takes time for them to build the points in the round. We just start cramming things down, and it makes it pretty difficult for them. So we can bleed out a lot of the good cards in round 2. So Ulrich has Intimidate. I like that because we're playing a few crimes here, right? We've got the Damnation, the Excommunication that received a provision buff. We've got the Congregations. So we're going to be getting a little bit of extra points from the Ulrich for that reason. But of course, the big deal is to create more bronze cards, because we can only fit so many to have the deck polarized, right? We need to have a fair amount of gold cards as well, and we don't want to run out of options for the Hemmelfart play, especially if we might do 2 of them. So having those extra units definitely plays an important role in this deck. So Ulrich is just very good for that reason, right? Devotion boosted by 2, there's an added benefit there, which is why I said this card benefits from Devotion. It's not a game changer per se if you don't have it, but really if you went non-devotion, you might swap out Junior for Heatwave, and you might swap out Bank for Decree. Like, I don't think that there's really much else you do besides that, and I don't know if it's enough to really change much, right? But it's an option if you want to lose the points here and lose this engine. I don't think it plays for more. But that's that. We have Inquisitor Halved, and this is like one of the best bleeding tools that you could possibly use, because if we can get down even just one of the scribes into a round 2 bleed and have it stick, then we could follow it up with Halved. And basically, whenever you spawn one or more units to the battlefield, gain 1 coin. It has an added tribute to boost out by 2, so if we want to keep it alive, or we need coin to spend on something, then that second ability is really good. But what is really nice is basically just using this card on ranged, and then putting down Halved, spending with Halved, using full leader on the back row, filling up that back row, getting some more coin back, putting more tokens on the front row, and then we can just follow it up next turn with like a disarray, and we have pretty much like a full board state in 2 turns. So it gets quite lethal. Well, 3 turns, because 1 to play this, 2 for that, and 3 for disarray. But you can imagine if we put up like 40 points, how is the opponent going to come back from that without spending a lot, right? So that's kind of one of the win conditions, is something like that I've been doing here, and I like it quite a bit. Now, Junior is good. There's not a lot in the 10 provision slot as far as devotion's concerned, right? We have things like Scoundrel that has no synergy here, Collusion, Nilfgaardian Justice, again, things we don't need, and Philippa. So Philippa's not really good for us at all, because we're not trying to seize anything, because we have our own stuff we're doing on our side of the board. Like, we really don't want the opponent adding units to our board. So cards like Witch's Sabbath, Nilfgaard Spies, like, these are problems for us, so we don't want to potentially make it worse with something like Philippa. So this is like a good control tool, essentially, just being able to remove something, and hopefully it changes the game quite a bit. Like, if we're playing into Frost, for example, maybe you take out like the Eridan or the Oberyn, like, it could add up quite quickly. So Vivaldi Bank, pretty good, right? Look at the top card from your deck, plus an additional card for every coin you possess. Play the top card for free. Play any other card for a coin. Every card down, you spend a coin, essentially. So, you know, this will be used like late round 2, early round 3 to look for that last thing that we need. I do find that the deck sometimes will miss a gold or 2, but that's just kind of what we have to deal with here, unfortunately. We only have a couple tutors, right? We've got the Furco, we've got the Bank, and we've got the Excommunication. So it's not ideal, but it does feel a little bit better that XCOM went on sale, right? From 6 provision to 5. So 3 tutors is better than 2 tutors, which is better than 1. So, I mean, it is what it is. I wouldn't go, like, again, non-devotion just to have something like Oniro. And I think the thinning package with, like, either Bouncers or Raiders, like any of these, is maybe too expensive, because there's a lot of good 5 provision cards right now for Firesworn. And also, they're taking up space that's kind of awkward, because there's no synergy, right, with these in the deck at all. You know, Furco feels kind of bad to play here even. So these would feel horrible to play. That's basically it. We have Disarray. This is one of the big payoff cards. So it has Echo. We can use it in 2 rounds, and we have the ability to swarm even in 3 rounds if we need to play, you know, a bit in each round. But damage an enemy unit by 3 and boost all allied Firesworn units by 1. Death Blow, boost all allied units instead. So we look for the Death Blow if we have things like Junior and Furco on the board. We look for whatever we can if we don't, because those are the only cards that are not going to benefit from that second ability, and it's not bad. But if we're playing against Nilfgaard, we definitely want a Death Blow, because they're going to probably put like Duchess Informants and Emissaries and stuff like that on our side of the board, and this will definitely help kind of get some extra payoff from those spaces that they filled up on our side, right? Sacred Flame, I was complaining about this card recently. I was saying how I thought it needed resilience. I don't think that anymore, because 8 provision's a good sale, and you know, it was that way before, but it didn't have the support that we had in this patch for the archetype. So I feel like if this card had resilience, then it would just be too strong. It would make the deck like very unbalanced. So essentially just having it here for what it is fine, because this would provoke a pass, and then if the opponent passed, then we just use it next round and it doesn't feel good, right? So that's that. Spawn a zealot on both sides of the card, order boost all allied Firesworn units by 1. So it's like a whole board boost, essentially. It's like a Bone Talisman plus spawning 2, right? And you can imagine like this topped with this is like a 40-point swing, okay? Furco's just a tutor, play a crime card. We could play Disarray, we could play Damnation, we could play Congregation. Either of those is fine. Early on in game, maybe you play Congregation because Overswarming's a thing late game. If it's late game and you missed one of these tutors potentially, right, Damnation or Disarray, well, that's probably going to be your pull, right? These are very important. And move on to Damnation. This card got a provision buff from 7 to 6, but it also got a rework. So now it destroys an allied unit and creates and plays a 4 provision cost Firesworn unit. Increase the provision cost by the power of the destroyed unit. So essentially, I described how we'd get like what we need for the Hemmelfart, for example. But like Helvete would be a really cool thing to pull too. Ulrich could be something that you can aim for. Like there's actually pretty good targets with this, and you just have to do the math. So it's basically, what am I looking at here? There. So 4 provision off the bat plus 1 for every power. So if I'm going 6 power, we're going to be getting like a Helvete. If I'm going 7 power, we get the Ulrich. If I go 8 power, we get the Cyrus. That's how it works. If I go 2 power, we get a Fallen Knight. Okay? So just keep that in mind, write that down, whatever you have to do. It's pretty important. Whereas before, it was not a good card. Like, it was 7 provision. It was damage 3 adjacent units or whatever by like 2 each. And if you destroy them, spawn a zealot for each one you destroy. And it was just a mess to set up. It was very expensive, and I didn't really like it in my Firesworn decks. Now it's really good. Roderick DeWitt. So I'm running into this on the ladder in the place of 6. So Procession's great and everything. Damage self by 10. Reduce damage by 2 for every Firesworn token you control. Like, it does require some setup. It doesn't require a whole lot of setup, and it plays for 12 points. But I was thinking a little bit differently because I value coins too, right? Getting good Cirrus pulls, especially if we're doing it twice. This is a coin engine. So we also have the ability to boost it up with tactical advantage, which keeps it safe, which is a plus. Also with this here, when we do finally spawn the Footman, it's going to basically give the Fallen Knight proc ability, right? They're each going to boost, and then the Scribe are going to gain coins. So we're not going super tall on it. It's an engine, and then finally when we take the payoff, it's giving payoff to other cards. So this is why I opted to go for Roderick in this instance, because I felt like overall it could play for more points, and it was pretty comfortable. Like, especially if we want to put these down and protect them by getting them a little bit of a boost, like at the same turn or whatever, we could float this first. Maybe the opponent thinks nothing of it, get a couple of these and just click. So then all of a sudden it comes at a 4-point removal and it's 5, like on the turn it's played or whatever the case. So pretty good. Excommunication, pretty simple and straightforward. Banish an allied unit, then play the top card from your deck. If the target was Firesworn, look at the top 3 cards and play one of them instead. So, couple things. If we have most of the stuff we need, let's say we take Insanity on Junior and just destroy it for 1 and play the top card, that's fine. If we're playing against Nilfgaard, we have the stuff we need, we can destroy a Spy and do the same thing. But if we're really missing gold cards, we destroy a Firesworn token at 2 points, and we go and grab like a Cirrus or a Jacques or whatever the case. So it always trades up for that reason, and 5 provision's kind of nice because we are destroying one of our cards after all. It's not like we're just fetching something that we like, you know what I mean? There's a little bit of a hit that we take from this, so it's pretty good. I like it at the spot that it's in. It makes us able to fit some better cards in the mid-range for sure. And then we have the Firesworn Scribe, of course, range whenever you spawn 1 or more units on the battlefield, gain 1 coin, tribute 2, boost up by 2. I talked about this one. It really synergizes with Helvete and cards like the Congregation, right? So definitely want to have it there. Cleric of the Flaming Rose. This card was one of my favorite Firesworn cards before. It just felt so sturdy with the armor it had, decent base power, the fact that it was an engine, it made it so that we don't overprofit or anything like that, right? We can use it defensively when things get chipped down. We can flip them, and then now they're back to Flaming Rose. So I like it quite a bit, but now it's actually better because it profits by 3 instead of 2. So what you can do is you can play a couple of these, then you can play the Scribes and actually take the tributes on the Scribes, so that because you have like the extra coin if you want, just to keep them safer if you feel like there's like a threat towards them, and then you can start just doing your spawn payoffs. So the synergy in the Bronze End's starting to really come together, and I'm happy with that. Congregation's pretty simple. Like, this card's great in round 1. It's not really good in round 3. And spawn 2 Zealots in an allied row. If you have a Firesworn unit in the row, spawn 3 instead. So you kind of want to put something down first to get the extra points, right? Otherwise, the card plays for 4 plus whatever engine value it gives you on the Fallen Knight and the Scribe. So I like to take it for full value, which means take it early on, and it's a good card that way. Inquisitor, talked about it. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Champion's pretty interesting. I think 1 is cool. I don't think 2 is really good because it might not do a whole lot if you're playing 2. It's kind of like a tech for certain matchups. So it has immunity, so it can't be targeted by anything. So if they have a heat wave, for example, they're not going to get it. But if they have just like indirect targeting, like an Igni or a Yurden or a Curse of Corruption, then this card is not safe, right? But destroy all allied Firesworn units, or tokens on the row rather, and boost self by their total power. So let's say, for example, we're playing into Caltelis, or we're playing into, I put together a Skellige deck yesterday with Lambert. So hopefully, if you're playing this deck, you don't run into those problems. But let's say you anticipate these things about to happen, or you're just running out of space. You can go and you can use this card, and you can play proactively, right? You can just keep taking units off that row or tokens off that row, right? And protect yourself from the wide punish. So again, I thought 1 was really good. I just don't think we have room for 2 in this deck. If we did put a second one, you'd have to take out a Disciple, and then that kind of feels bad too, because sometimes you want to use coins on something. So that's kind of what Disciple's good for. And speaking of Disciple, profit 2, fee 1, spawn a Firesworn Zeal in the row, and cooldown 1. So this card got a buff, and I often forgot about it, but I just like this card even before the patch, so I threw it in here. But yeah, I'm looking now. It's fee 1 instead of fee 2. So this card plays a lot like this one here in a sense. You're poisoning an allied unit, boosting it by 2 for a fee of 1, right? So it's kind of like a similar payoff, like you're getting a 2 for 1. So I think that these are pretty valuable right now, just with that little bit of a change. And so this is the deck, and I've got about 5 or 6 games for you guys today. I don't remember how many I played, but had a pretty good time with it. And like I said, it's really good in certain matchups, it's really bad in others. It really kind of comes down to what you're queuing against, right? Non-devotion decks might have a little bit of an advantage because they have cheap resets like Spores, they have Heat Waves, they have Yurdens, like whatever the case, these things might really affect us. However, we've got tempo, and not a lot of decks can keep up with that tempo. Maybe Gednith and stuff like that, but like this is pretty wild. So we'll get into the gameplay here, guys, and if you enjoy the content that you see, don't forget to sub to the channel. And one more thing, I do have a sponsored video coming out on the 14th of March, so make sure you check that one out. If you're trying to support the channel, there's a little bit of instructions on what I need from you guys, and I really appreciate that. So yeah, let's get into the games. Alright, so first up we got Nilfgaard Double Cross, and you guys know I like that Novigrad at Night board, right? I went to equip it for this video, and it disappeared from my inventory. So that's kind of weird. It's actually a pretty good round 1 hand. Maybe Helveed can go. We don't mind playing a bunch of Fallen Knights in round 1. Just because we're getting them back, right? But I just don't know if we have enough Swarm payoff to make it count. So maybe we actually put back the second one. Jacques not really good here. So they're struggling to have proactivity, right? So we can just cram here. It's little ambitious to put this down for 4, but they're going to feel pretty bad about it if they don't have another Joust in hand. Alright. Yeah, we'll let it sink. We'll just leave it there. There it is. Probably do this here first. So, destroy, boost by, yeah. That's just that cool card now, you know? I would consider taking XCOM on the Duchess just to make it more difficult for them, but they'd probably just go and coup this anyways, you know what I mean? Which is kind of annoying, so we just probably play cards. Take the tribute, because we still have the coin here. I don't think I actually flip it. Yeah, we do. Oh, yeah. We don't really have anything else to spend, right? If I go Furco here, we get to pull something like that, which is kind of nice. Actually, we could pull Damnation. Yeah. Maybe split up a little bit here, and then we can just, you know. We gotta stay steady ahead here as well. I'll do it. Oh, I actually forgot about that. Okay. I mean, it just comes down to that, doesn't it? We've got really good cards right here. If they don't top deck well, we're in a good spot, right? They didn't play like a Calviet. They did play Heatwave. So, not great. Better. You know, we destroy a token, we dig deeper. It's not all bad, right? Just because I have a leader. Okay, make a Fallen Knight. That's kind of annoying. Here's what we'll do. Yeah. Take that back. Take that back, right? They used both of the jousts. So I think we're doing alright here. We gotta be careful though. I want to use Jacques next. Just because otherwise we're gonna get in trouble, right? They're gonna be able to pull it off the leader, get tons of value. So let's hope they don't roll here. Nice. Maybe we take care of one of those. This is not its deploy. This is okay. This is probably a bit better for now. There we go. And take and flip. We got to do it all at the same time. I'm worried about them going and taking, yeah, opponents deciding. So it's either, okay, I thought it was going to be Lydia or Leader. They took the Jacques. So maybe they have like a Joachim to take it out. Let's see here. Any more bronzes we can get? Probably not worth it. We'll see. I want to play this because I find like it could get ugly otherwise, but here, we'll just take care of that problem. And then we'll take out, yeah. Just so we can actually work on the spawn. Insanity actually plays into Q, so no. I was gonna say Furcart could go, but they're kind of helping the swarm here a little bit. Alright, I'm not scared of them. Yeah, they're not gonna use leader yet. That's fine. Here. We have 3, 6, 7, 8. There. Can we do any flipping? 1, 2, and boost. They knew what it was. I don't know. I think we just go for it, because I'm expecting Yen Terra Nova. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean it's Terra Nova, but how many coins they got? Okay. So clearly we just take care of that. I think we just leave it. Yeah. Could be a token. Not a bad first game, guys. Alright, so we got monsters, Carapace up next, and I see Crystal Skull, I see Carapace, I think Kelly, I think we're in trouble, right? I don't know if it's a matchup you can win, but if there's a will, there might be a way. It just, we have no movement tech, we have no, like, actual removal, right? So we won't be able to get through a defender. But we do have a lonely champion, and it's for reasons like this, or just really swarm control decks. Pretty good hand, right? Pretty good hand. Maybe Hemmelfart goes back for now, we just hope for him later, because otherwise it's a little expensive. We'll know pretty quick what it is. I've been seeing some, like, vampire stuff with Carap. Nope. They basically queued, like, the jackpot. I'm hoping that these tokens just don't matter, you know? Like, we just spawn so many of them, everything's good, and, you know, things just go well. We'll see. I just hate to see them get good haze value, so I'm just splitting them up. Plus, it looks good. Organized, you know? We'll just play tokens to the right side. So, I think that Kelly kind of took a step back from the meta last month. However, I'm surprised to see it on patch week. And I've been seeing it a few times. Because, with all the frost going around, and like, I've seen a lot of different variants of like some Skoya decks going around right now, and like some guerrilla tactics and whatnot. Since like Milva got a little bit of support, but do we ever just whenever yeah, I think we kind of just respect the fact that like if we're gonna win this round, it's gonna be a long one. Like, we can't really do anything if you think about it about the Kelly. This is just gonna be tough, man.
The eternal fire guides. The eternal fire protects.
I guess they're just depending on, like, they're probably just playing around the elf matchup, and then this matchup with the Kelly. Two of those, one turn. I don't even think it's like something we can contest. Excuse me. I just coughed. Let's see here. 5 points per turn. About a 20-point lead. Yeah, it's like, what do you do? 2 cards. We just have to accept it, I think, at this point. If it wasn't for, like, the Siri, maybe it could be worth a push, but they did play their pigs, and they got both of them in round 1, so it was a good draw for them. Let's have a look here. Horson might be nice if they're not running, actually, yeah, if they're not running Defender, like, Witch's Sabbath. It's probably put back the Desiree. Okay, it's a pretty good hand. If I don't deal with that, we're in trouble. And they'll take back... Well, that's the problem. They'll probably just bring it back. But if... I mean, it's one of those things where... they bring it back anyways, so we're in trouble. Like, if I don't deal with it, I'm in trouble. If I deal with it, I could be in trouble. I think we have to deal with it. That just means Kelly lives, and that just means we need more points than they do, right? Like, they're going to be getting the 2-point per turn engine, probably. I guess that's okay. little provision count here. Decree means no Oniro, means probably Sabbath. Okay, no, never mind. They have Oniro. So they have Oniro and Decree. I don't know if they could fit both. Split up the row. It feels like if there's a Kelly, where's the Kelly, you know? We'll probably see it here because the board contrast, but... I guess that's fine. We gotta stay tempoed though, right? I'd like to be able to do this because we can get a second Hemmelfart, so I gotta be careful here because we don't want to get rid of Ulrich. And either way, we're going down card. I can't deal with this. It's on the wrong row, so it's just eating a spot, essentially. They in turn, they get the points, they get the points, they get the points and points, yeah? Really just comes down to that. Another like disadvantage that we have here is that we don't really even want to flip these tokens because if we flip them, we're giving them better value on the Kelly. Okay. Feels like a losing battle. I think we take it. We try to look for that Hemmelfart as soon as possible. It's going to protect us a little bit here. As far as engines, we go for the Fallen Knight, I'm sure.
Give what we demand, not harm a hair of your witch's head.
Probably just that, right? Anything worth taking here? Yeah. Yeah, it's worth it. So, like, for example, that, just so we can get some more units on the board. Okay, so what else we got here? Nothing worth it. Take that. And okay, we could still win the game. Here, yeah, here's the thing. We gotta dig deep here. We could still win this. Ranged. Still nothing to pull. 2, 4. If they have a Spores, we're done, but otherwise we might be alright. Let's see. So there's that. Yeah. We have Halved for round 3, right? And we need one more point. 2 and 4. We could flip 1. I think we survived the round. I actually think we do. No. Okay. Actually, maybe. Anything else we need here? I can use that to take out that. I can use that. We don't get the damage, but we get some damage. It just comes down to the last. They had the best spores you could possibly imagine. If I pull Sacred Flame and Halved... Oh my gosh. It's like a miracle. And actually, Osrol's pretty bad. If they have an Osrol. Yeah, Osrol Finisher does it, but... What? Maybe it's Kashi, right? Just point slam. 1. I don't feel as bad playing like a Hemmelfart early. If we can make a second, but... I also kind of think we need to play a little bit deeper in the round. Lonely Champion's probably not very good here. It's not going to do a whole lot. This is kind of gross. Wait, what? What's the defender for? That's kind of a concern, right? Ah, relics. I could have guessed that one. So we play this round deep.
What? 3 more copies?
Is there any way we can get a second Fallen Knight, though? No. That's gonna pull my Hemmelfart out. Or Jacques, yeah. It's kind of bad.
The tongue can conceal the truth. The eyes never.
47-29. Can we just do... Just do one more turn?
Hark, brothers. These are the words of Scripture.
This is where we gotta call it. Yeah. I don't really care too much about Chiunos. I care more about getting, like, this play out of the way. Because they played both. They played first Onero into Crete. Well, they... Wow. And... Like... I think I care more about the fact that they ruined this than they played this. But we do know that they're probably going to try and 2-0. Not very good. Okay, I guess. This is okay, I suppose. I think we can dump it, though. Yeah, we need some good cards here.
Satisfaction guaranteed.
If I'm able to get... Junior, it's kind of a big deal. $23 points.
Who spilled my ink? Confess or be damned.
There's really no choice for me.
You're one sexy witch and I'm here to
Which one's worse? $47 points.
Remove his cowl.
We gotta start doing big moves here, you know? I might just have to take that out. Actually, we're gonna overswarm because of this now. Yeah, so even if I get rid of the one, we can't get rid of the two. It really just comes down to, like, getting engines out.
the land of this day.
By denying penance, you confirm your guilt. The fire cannot burn without the proper fuel.
So I'm trying to decide if I take, like, if I try and look for Desiree, just to get rid of one of these at least. It could be something, but eventually they're gonna run out of space, and maybe that's how we actually win. So let's spend. Probably take this first. I think we take this. Because, like, look, at least we could start chewing up these. I think that's actually a move. Because they're all engines, right? One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep the coin. I just wish I can get back here. Like, we're losing value from that. And so it would be a safe pass, but I guess they're just thinking the all-in's gonna be fine. Two, three, four, five, six, seven. There's really nothing I can flip. We don't want to play 2 turns either. We want to play 1.
Yes, you. Have you made your offering?
There we go. It's got to be Desiree. And there's no death blow, but that's about the best we have here. Take out that. Right. That's one of the tough matchups.
Got a bad feeling about this.
So we got Nilfgaard double cross up again here. They go first. I like that. Put this back here. Fallen Knight's good to go. Junior is pretty valuable for them. Maybe we put that back for now. The hand's not bad. Okay, all the more reason to like crank it here. They probably have Joust. I think I gotta set these up quick. Interesting. I wish it would just like destroy a unit. Spawn a token. Using leader feels expensive. I think we use one of these.
These are the words of scripture.
And if I insert the needle here, what then?
They're looking like they're ready to pass shortly. That tells me to play a card like this,
Greater donations beget greater blessings.
right? Lock's kind of a big deal. Okay. This is actually a really good way to sort of round trap them here.
I bring death, quite literally.
That was the informant, right? Perfect. Destroy it, yeah.
The tongue can conceal the truth, the eyes.
4, 5, 6, 7. End turn spawn. We're up still.
By denying penance, you confirm your guilt.
They're gonna have to use a tall punish on the knight. We just play this, don't we?
Fire cannot burn without the proper fuel.
Heatwave or Yen incoming. Yep. And what's nice about that is it's like, alright, you know? They took Yen there, fine. I actually don't think I mind playing Helvede. Just because we're starting to see some commitments here, right? Except, Furco would need to play about 10 points. Actually, Yeah, it's Furco into Damnation, isn't it?
Now this is a knife. The fire cleanses. An austere life is a virtuous life.
Then we can take that. Oh, did I just shoot? Yeah. All right, here. We're gonna, I think I have to actually push round 2. That's uncomfortable. Forgot the row was full. It should really still work though. Destroy it, it leaves, and then it comes in. Here. What's like the worst card in my hand? Probably that. No, it's that.
Who spilled my ink?
I believe in Helvede and Scribe. This happened to be on the ladder and it was pretty aggressive. That's a Fallen Knight, right? No, they don't have one to choose from. It's got to be something like that. Okay.
For the empire I endure.
Do they round trap us? No. Here, let's go for it.
You will answer my questions. Yes, you. Have you made your offering?
And then we obviously take more.
Yes, you. Have you made your offering? Yes, you. Have you made your offering?
Oh boy. I think what we're supposed to do is take that out just so that they can't bond them up. And then we still kill it. If they take Disarray, it's so bad. They're probably going to have to go with Vivaldi Bank, which is also not great.
Your name, young man. The man should be cursed into an archer.
The shame I have.
Yeah, they're going to be pulling something that they might not even need. Because the top deck's set up so well. Hemelfart's going to really suck if they pull that. It's almost not fair if they do. Okay. Got a tie. We just go for it. A little bit more. Yeah.
Yes, you.
That's just like
Have you
really
made
good.
your offering? Enough. Let us finish this.
Lightmaker. Hopefully they don't.
Wine will come from
Okay, fine.
compost.
Here. I think it's Terra Nova Heatwave. They get a Helvete out of it, right? Yeah. But it's not going to be enough. 246.
You confirm your guilt. That one, he venerates not the fire.
Or is it Ku? It's Ku, yeah. Because they're going muzzle.
Please wait your
I suppose that's fine. I think their leader is scarier than our leader. I want Fallen Knight, Ulrich, Hemmelfart, or just... I mean, we got some good cards. That's really good. Okay, these are kind of slow. That's not bad. I would hate to pull Ulrich here, but I'm willing to actually risk it all. Okay. I think it's just a winning hand because we got so many points out of these two cards. And then they're just rolling Diplos at this point. And that's like missing a lot of good cards too.
Corporations are people too.
Yes, we'll play that. I kind of want to use Jacques as a finisher here, although we'd get technically more points to play him later.
Perhaps a bit.
Just in case, you know? Yeah. It's melee. Yeah, I don't feel too safe, just like, you know what I mean? Gotta protect the points.
Wrist is killing me. My knights, I need to be like witches. Strong.
Just spawn there, and then just, yeah. I'll do it.
My lads will make sure of that.
So this mirror match should be interesting. And this will be the last game for today. Damnation could maybe secure rounds. We don't need those, I think. Okay, maybe one's not bad. Pretty good hand we could just spend, you know?
The order will rule the land from this day forward.
So they're on the same page.
Lean not your hand upon me, simpleton. Children, fisted. Eternal fire, protect us.
We gotta respect the process here. Fallen Knight next. Disciple after that.
What? 3 more copies? Halt! In the order's name.
Actually, that's something I could have done differently, right? Maybe take tribute. Nah, it's fine. It's fine.
Spill my ink. Confessor be damned. Abandon your false god.
It's not like we lost anything, really. It still means we spend 2 coins, you know what I mean?
Yes, you. Have you made your offering?
Sword of the order! Flaming rose! You will answer our questions.
He venerates not the fire.
Kinda like the fact that they're spending this here.
Your offering.
how do we want to deal? We can destroy it.
Nobody expects the Nilfgaard Inquisition.
It's that one that we destroy.
Yes, you. Have you made your offering?
Yeah, we'll just stay right here with them. If they...
You shall be renounced by kin, condemned by your children.
Penitent, okay. Procession. Yeah, penance.
We've not to face.
Penitence, the monsters one.
He venerates not the fire.
I think we still fight.
You are worthy neither of mercy nor forgiveness.
Flip it. I don't feel bad using that, right? Keeps us right there. Like, if they want to pass, then we just take a disarray and we win. That's the problem with it. We don't even need to really worry too much. There. As far as commitments go, we kind of did better, I think, because, yeah, like, XCOM penance is okay. That's like a pretty good hand for me. We keep that for now, because, like, look, we spent Roderick, which is what they did. And then they have Halvid, XCOM, and Procession as well. And so now we get to pull into that stuff later. I just don't know how valuable Halvid will be in like a long round 3, you know? Have to say though, they did thin more than we did. It's probably that goes back. Yeah, we're missing a lot. This can probably go back too. So if I don't take that, like, if I don't take Jacques early, we might be missing a lot of coin. Furco's got options, so Halvid's not, like, the requirement. I think it's going to be Hemelfart and, like, Jacques or... They got me beat there. Let's dive for it. I think we have to. Yeah, definitely.
Don't take this sword a toy.
The eternal fire.
Believe I heard more coin clinking about in that pouch of yours.
Give what we demand, not harm a hair on your wench's head.
Idle hands are evil's playthings.
And they have the 2 as well.
This positively reeks of heresy.
I'm just trying to manage board space decently, you know?
Bollocks. That was my last.
We'll do something like that. XCOM can pull out for one of these two. What's the defender for? Probably just for these. Suppose we could do that here. I don't know if they have Ulrich if they're running the defender. Maybe. We'll take that.
Dying penance, you confirm your guilt.
It's probably another cleric.
Hallowed flame, light our ways to ignorance and superstition.
They have the 3 engines. We have technically 3 engines. Well, 4 if you think about it, but running out of good stuff to get here from it. It's got to be Sacred Flame that we pull. Be Furco into obviously Congregation. Oh. Do we overswarm if we kill that and get another Hemelfard? I think we're okay.
The fire cleanses. Greater donations beget greater blessings.
The tongue can conceal the truth. The eyes never. Nobody expects the Nilfgaard Inquisition.
For the points, you know? We'll flip one of these over just so we could spend. I think the XCOM, like, I almost want to say we're looking for Jacques, but just because we need the spender. But if they have Sacred Flame and we don't, then that's a problem. I don't think this actually does anything, right? Like, if we pull it from grave? That would be kind of funny if it did.
Eternal fire, protect us.
So there's 3 of them. For now, we'll just play this, I think.
These are the words of scripture.
Anything worth pulling here? 2 into a 3. So we have that spender. Oh my god, it worked. Let's go. Synergy. I like this card even more now. Okay, so... One, two, three, four, 5. Furco is like so bad here. Yeah, we overswarm too much.
Alone shall you wander until the end of days, cursed and sat upon. That one, he venerates not the fire.
I wonder if you can ever just like, yeah, there we go, just kill our stuff on purpose. That's what we'll do, because we're gonna get some spawn value here too, right?
Yes, you. Have you made your offering?
Good, we're out of the bronzes. We want to, let's make one row nice.
Remove his cowl, then his ears.
Can he come cleanly when you squirming about like that? The fire cannot burn with
There we go.
fuel.
I think they have disarray. $105. It should do it, right? So if we take care of that, and we use that,
Yes, you.
that's points.
Have you made your offering?
And then we flip those.
Smash your noggin, rot.
There's nothing else here. So we click that. And then we get the Furco boost too. Let's go.